In the news recently, I'm sure you all have heard of all of the sexual harassment cases that are coming out. After the first initial accusations against Mr. Harvey Weinstein, there's been over 100 celebrities, predominantly males, that have been accused of sexual harassment. So we think that that's an overwhelming statistic that's got to go away. So we're proposing a 3 to 4 week program for self-defense for men and women in the school, and it could be a part of the of Coach Ray's physical wellness class. East Jessamine High School had the Nicholasville PD come in and do a couple days of self-defense for women. So we figured I'm sure we could get Eddie Hart or any Lexington PD to come in and show men and women how to defend themselves properly.
So we surveyed a total of 60 people, 33 of which were seniors because they were the closest to going out into the world, and we felt that it would be better because since they're the closest to being into the world, that they'd be able to provide us information on that. And only 3 people that we surveyed said no to this, and that's a 95% rating of yes to no, and they just all thought that it was a good idea to have self-defense class.
Wouldn't you feel safer if your son or daughter took a self-defense class before they went off to college? It benefits both the child doing it and the parents because they'll feel a lot better about their child going to college, and they will be prepared for what could happen at college.
We're now open for questions.
What grade level are you thinking, across the board, or?
Predominantly seniors, because that's normally the grade level that takes the physical wellness class, and because they're closer to encountering college and just real world situations.
And you're looking at only just a couple of days, or what?
3 to 4 week program.
Who would teach it?
We could look for a volunteer from Eddie Hart, I'm sure knows somebody, or we could look for a volunteer from the police department.
Okay, but 3 to 4 weeks worth? I mean, we wouldn't pay them?
It would depend on if they wanted to volunteer to teach, or what we'd be willing to, or it could be since it would be optional and not mandatory for the class, it could be funded by the students.
Okay.
What if someone wanted to do this, but they weren't able to take the physical wellness class? Is there an alternative option or time to have this training?
Also during it probably wouldn't be as ideal, but the freshman year, I know all the freshmen have to take the PE with Coach Fugman, so that would be another spot to do it.
So the class that goes on East Jessamine is put on by their SRO. He's a trained Great Progression Defense, a RAD instructor. And you're right, it's a very good program, but it's 6 hours a day for 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
You look into stuff like that here, and it's been hard to come with. Did you, in your research, come up with anything, or ask Officer Hart or anybody if there was someone that could do it? I've come up short so far. I've asked, so I didn't know if you guys have run across it.
I didn't get to speak to Officer Hart now.
You all were freshmen. Did you all get a chance to have Officer Marlin help out in 9th grade PE?
It was for I think it was 2 days, and we used the dummy bags.
Did you feel like that was beneficial, or did you feel like it just kind of whet your appetite? We need a whole lot more.
Yeah, I don't really remember anything from it.
I thought it was beneficial overall, yeah.
This is completely left field, but do you think that there would be any chance that someone taking the self-defense class, they would use that negatively? They would be more prone, if they're jittery or scared or concerned about being attacked or harassed, that because they know those skills, they would lash out when they shouldn't?
So what I researched was there was a program, I forget the name of it, but it was more directed on defending yourself rather than attacking. So like how it was described was like you want to get yourself out of danger without harming the other person. I don't like it was kind of off from what I read, but that was how it was described. So.
What I've researched is like it's more of like using your forearm like to block blows, and the only time you ever strike, it's not with a closed fist or like a knuckle, it's with your open hand on the palm. And that way it's not really to injure somebody, but to get them away.
The RAD class is open up to really any high school student, as well as staff, teachers, and as well as parents. If you consider your audience a bigger audience, how do you see that potentially maybe appeal to more than just seniors?
I think it definitely could.
How would you change the structure, or maybe how might you modify it if that were the case?
If that were the case, then you could offer it at a different time, like after school, or maybe Saturday morning for a couple hours. But then I guess it would have to be either volunteer, obviously, or funded by the participants in the class.
You all are big, strong guys. Dylan's a little weak, but I mean, do you all have a sense of concern or anxiousness going off to college about that kind of stuff, or just more a general protection for
just with
everybody?
Yeah.
Or so like with all the stuff that's been going on recently, and like all the stuff that's been in the news, like people who haven't been able to defend themselves, like people who are victims like of like school-related violence, like people bring guns and stuff into school. That way they can defend themselves if they're in the position to have hand-to-hand combat. That they need to like actually either disarm the person or push the person away, just so that way they and all their other classmates can get away.